And welcome to our June edition of Sports Highlights. Glad you're with us. And of course, congratulations to all the graduates in the month of June. My name is Gregg. This is Sports Highlights. Our interview program since February of 1992 airs on Mondays at 7 a.m., 2 p.m., and 7 p.m., weekends at 9 a.m. on Cox Cable 47 517, all over social media, YouTube, and NNPSTV.com. Our guests today are Gregg Brooks and Bishop Dunn and Edric E.J. Jones. Let's start off with Gregg Brooks. He's the head girls basketball coach at Woodside High School. He also went to Ferguson High School. Good to see you, Gregg.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Yeah. So excited to be here.
Thanks for being flexible as well. But let's talk about your basketball background, of course. Let's talk about it from the time you were a kid playing basketball.
Yeah, well, a lot of my basketball background started when at the Boys and Girls Club in my local neighborhood, just playing at the Boys and Girls Club under Pooh Johnson downtown. I had an opportunity to start coaching at Booker T. Washington Middle, and I went on and started coaching at Minchfield under Coach Aaron Webb for his JV team. Spent a lot of time at CNU University, 4 years at CNU University with Coach Bill Broderick. In the from I think 2015 to 2020, right before the pandemic, had an opportunity to go to Woodside, and the rest is history.
Yeah, and of course, Ferguson back then was the late Coach Walters. He also coached your cousin, of course, Aaron Brooks.
Yes.
Talk about Aaron's experience. How many times are you asked about Aaron Brooks?
Yeah, asked about him quite often. When people say, hey, I'm recognizing the name Brooks, are you any kin to Aaron? And yeah, that's my little cousin. Remember the times where he was just a little kid just learning to catch a football, just giving them basic routes, me as a quarterback back then, giving them basic routes just to go out there and catch a few passes. But my time at Ferguson, I spent 1 year on the JV team, but I was mostly football, and that's part of the transition that most people don't see. As I entered the girls' basketball arena, they said, hey, well, Coach Brooks, we know you from football. All of my peers know me from being under Coach Baycoat, and Coach Riemann was a wide receiver when Lance Redding was the quarterback and Curtis West. So I ended up making that transition probably around, I guess, 2010, 2012 in the girls' basketball. So that was something I didn't see coming.
Yeah, you were in school and I was, and of course Coach Baycoat was the coach there up until the fall of '85, Dwayne Solomon's last year.
Yeah.
And then of course the transition, and you played for a lot of different coaches.
And Coach Isley. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. How did you get involved in basketball?
I got involved in basketball first and foremost. I was my son was doing a junior future league at Woodside under Coach Duke Phillips. And he asked me to come on and coach that team. From there, I was offered, people in the stands saw me and offered me a job at Booker T. And I said, hey, I'll be interested in coaching the girls' basketball team. So from there, I just got interested in that. From then, I migrated to the high school as a JV head coach at Minchfield. And then from there, left Minchfield, as I said before, spent some good time at CNU, learning the game under Coach Bill Broderick, learning about practice plans and learning how to manage teams and different in-game strategies that they have. A very good program under Coach Bill Broderick at Christopher Newport University. And then when I left there after the pandemic, after Coach Talon left Woodside, saw an opening, and I've always wanted to be at Woodside. It's right down the street from me. Saw an opening to get in a good program, one of the programs I feel like is a premier program in Newport News. And interviewed, was lucky to get the job, and from there we've been pretty consistent in what we've been doing so far.
Right, because you're a Newport News guy, and I mentioned from the outset, you mentioned the Boys and Girls Club, but then you mentioned Coach Broderick helped you with the X and the O's, because there's strategy, like you said, offense, defense strategy, game plan changements, halftime adjustments, but you learned a lot by osmosis from Coach Baycoat, from Coach Broderick, from Coach Riemann, Coach Isley, that helped you into a successful basketball coach at the varsity and middle school level.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. I think one of the things that I get from all those coaches is just the preparation.
Yeah.
The time they put into their craft, that's one of the main things that I took from them. Hey, you be prepared with a practice plan before, you execute that practice plan, and then you go and make some adjustments. Be a student of the game always. And those guys were definitely students of the game. Another thing they had was just a lot of being personal with the kids. As college coaches and Coach Baycoat and Coach Isley, high school coach, they were real personable with me. They were like player coaches before their time. A little tough, but back then, some of the guys needed that discipline. My way of being with my players is a little bit of that too. You know, I try to be personable with them, but give them a leeway to express themselves and be the best players that they can be, especially with girls.
Because back then, a lot of times, you had different personalities.
That's right.
And a lot of players back then played multiple sports. It's harder to now with the academic requirements, but people are multitasking still.
Yes. And we encourage that at Woodside.
Yeah.
I encourage my girls. We have a lot of our players playing soccer. We like the track. We get those girls in track. And any of the coaches that come to me at Woodside and said, hey, do you have a girl that may be interested in softball? I'm not one of those coaches that's not like, hey, I need you got some skills that might suit the softball team or the track team. And they generally do the same.
Sure. Yeah, let's talk about middle school, your involvement with middle school sports.
Yeah.
What do you do exactly at the middle school level?
At the middle school level, I've been at Booker T. Washington Middle School coaching the girls team for probably 12 years.
Right.
So I've seen a lot of the players go on to the high school programs and into college. One of my main players who's just went into the portal and transferred to Norfolk State, Amari Smith, came through my middle school program, and a lot of others came through the middle school program. And one of the things I came into the middle school doing was making sure those girls had the ability to transition into high school. So I was one that, as a middle school coach, went to those high school coaches and say, hey, we got some players that's raw, but they're interested in playing the game. Do you have a spot on them? And most high school coaches, I mean, they don't really cut the girls. So if anybody's interested, they'll keep them on the team. But I promoted middle school basketball to the high schools real often.
And you're the perfect person to ask this. We're talking to Gregg Brooks. He's the head girls basketball coach, varsity coach at Woodside High School. You know how tough football is.
Yes.
There's a lot more bodies than any sport. Physical, mental, everything, offense, defense, special teams, game plan, coaching staffs. To go from varsity or JV in the fall through at least November, and then to turn around and play middle school football when a lot of the 8th graders can play JV football. Do you encourage that? What are the pros and cons of it? Because that's still fairly new. Not new in Yorktown and not new in other schools, but it is new in Newport News,
Right.
and a lot of people don't even know about it.
Right. I think one of the things with the culture change that's happening in sports, where everybody's going year round to gain that advantage as far as competition in their season, is a rest period. And having the right type of chemistry with your sports medicine people to make sure that they stay hydrated, that we have an off-season program that's really geared towards helping them stay healthy. I like the fact that sometimes that you use different muscle groups to be able to do different sports, but the rest period is something that's definitely necessary.
Yeah, because it's tough because, like we talked about earlier off camera, the top varsity players can play in the 9th grade.
Right.
Like Allen Iverson did.
Right.
You know, your cousin did.
Right.
You know, Lionel Miller played in the 10th grade at Ferguson. So that was technically JV.
Right.
8th graders can play JV and middle school. So it's a fine line. You do need a rest period, physically and mental.
Right, you definitely need a rest period. And you look at the other things that's going on around those is you get the spring league, the 707 spring leagues that they're going into. You're in basketball, you got AAU that's running 3 and 4 games a weekend, you know, so that it's very necessary for those kids to stay properly hydrated, get the proper nutrition, and rest, and making sure that they rest.
Because all it was back in the day was, you know, pee-wee football.
Yeah.
You know, Papa Warner, you know, the Hyden Woods, whatever, would play each other. But now you got it all, and it's good. But of course, you know, it's all about mind, body, and spirit as well.
Right.
Well, let's talk about your thoughts about the success of your team. Let's talk about this past season. Talk about regional appearance, and what do you look forward to next year?
Okay. This past season, the past 3 seasons, I've been at Woodside for 3 seasons now, and this past season was a really good season. We had a transition period because we had a transfer. A girl that transferred out was one of our key players, and we kind of changed our style a little bit. We went from slow half-court game to more of a pressing, full-court type, outletting type game, so 3-point shooting, and we end up finishing up 16-8. Regional semifinals where we played Mitchfield and Norfolk State, and we really got some dynamic players on our team. We got a little bit of everything. We have some size, we have some quickness, we have shooters. We got a little bit of everything. The thing that we were lacking was just the experience. So when we get back into the gym this off season, we'll work on what's our primary goal every year is our defense. We primarily focus on our defense. We'll be working on ball handling, and we'll also do three-point shooting, because those are 3 main things that we look for: defense, ball handling, and our three-point shooting. So we'll put an emphasis on those all off season.
And a good attitude, right?
And a great attitude.
Yeah,
yes.
Absolutely. Of course, when Coach Talon had a good tradition at Phoebus and Woodside, and Gregg is carrying it on. Your thoughts on the success of the whole WNBA right now? It seems like it's really on a meteoric rise.
Yeah. WNBA, they got new stars that come in every year. They're getting the publicity. I watched the first game of Caitlin Clark. I watched Angel Reese last night. So, yeah, I'm tuning in, and I'm pretty sure a lot of the young ladies are tuning in to the excitement that the WNBA is bringing.
Yeah. What advice would you give to somebody that wants to play JV or varsity basketball at Woodside?
Be consistent in your work ethic.
Yeah.
Be consistent in work and working hard, being attentive, being coachable, and Woodside staff will take care of the rest. We're good at developing young ladies, and if you come in with a work ethic, we can handle the rest.
Gregg, of course, you grew up in Newport News, like we said. On game day, how tough is it for these girls to get the protein and the energy and the hydration like you were talking about? Because where you're located at, you're closer to all the York County schools technically, driving-wise. And to go from Woodside to Heritage or Woodside to Phoebus is a big distance, and it can be an all-day, all-night affair.
Right. So what we do, we have our parent meals come in handy, and we give the parents a list of things that we like the girls to eat beforehand. We have a set time that they come in and they eat a pregame meal. Then we have time before, of course, the bus ride and things to prep for the game. But again, it's that pregame meal and what you set aside for those young ladies to eat that's best for them and get them ready to play in the game.
Very good. Gregg, thanks for your time, your talent, and your treasure. All the best to you and your future personally and for the Woodside girls basketball team.
And thanks for having me.
My pleasure. Good to see you, and well overdue. All right, that's Gregg Brooks right there. He's the head girls basketball coach, varsity at the Woodside High School. He multitasks. He does it all: life engagement, academics, and athletics. A very nice guest. Stay tuned for our student announcers on our next segment of the June show.
Hi, I'm Ethan Flinkenbeard, and I'm a student in the NNPS Telecommunications program. Enrolling in telecom has helped me expand my knowledge and skills in filming and broadcasting. I've learned skills such as camera operation, editing, directing, Take One, studio operation, and live remote production. I'm also a paid intern, working various sporting events, school board meetings, conferences, and talk shows. And I'm so thankful for the opportunities that telecom has provided me with to help me get my career off the ground.
You're watching NNPS TV. Catch sports highlights on Mondays at 7, 2, and 7, and on Saturdays and Sundays at 9 a.m. Visit us online at nnpstv.com to view all your favorite episodes. NNPS TV, watching education happen.
And welcome to our second segment of our June edition of Sports Highlights, June 2024. Hope you enjoyed our first guest, Gregg Brooks. It's a pleasure now to talk to Bishop Dunn and Edric E.J. Jones, class of 2025 Heritage High School football players, both NNPS Telecom student announcers. Good to see you.
Good to see you too, Greg. Good to see you.
Very good. Familiar background right here, right?
Yeah. We do our show here, Yap About It Sports, so it's always great to be in here because, we have class here and everything, so yeah.
How did you get involved in football?
I started getting involved in football my 10th grade year. I skipped my 9th grade year. My friends, especially him and my other friend Josh, they tried to get me involved in football, and my mom. And I went to the summer workouts during that my freshman going to my sophomore season, and ever since then I've been a part of the team.
Yeah, you've been part of the varsity program from the jump.
I started playing in 9th grade. It was my dad got me into high school football because he told me coming out of 8th grade, he said, you're going to play a sport going into high school. So 9th grade, playing football for Coach Woodleaf. And also, it was just a great experience. So I'm glad to be walking to my 12th grade season as a Heritage.
Yeah, and you were part of the program for JV as well, correct?
Yes, I played a few games back when we had Coach Moody. So yeah, I was a part of it for a few games for that.
Big transition this fall. No Gurley anymore is the quarterback. How is that going to be? Because he's been there for a long time.
Yeah, he was like our ringleader. Like he brought the team together, brought the troops together. Got us organized and stuff like that. So this year coming up, since we about to be 12th graders, I feel like we can step up as leaders and fill them shoes or make our own way of being a leader, and not just us two. Our other senior teammates, even our junior teammates, just anybody can step up, in my opinion.
Talk about the position you play.
I play offensive tackle, so I'm usually on the right side. You can find me on the right side of the line. So, and I'm also like the captain of the O-line. So it's just when I'm at my position, just being able to know what the defensive line may be doing and what blitzes may come. So I gotta be vocal. And also for the defense, I play defensive tackle and defensive end. I also have to know, read the play. I have to read if it's a run or a pass, and also be able to stop the play at the line of scrimmage and don't let it get to the second level.
And I play defensive end. My job, gets to the quarterback, pass rush. I'm normally on the left side, the weak side of the defense, and I gotta also watch the tackle go down, hedge, and watch the running back, see what he does, and also have communication with my other teammates, my other defensive linemen, and the linebackers behind me.
We're talking football. We're going to talk telecom in just a moment with Bishop Dunn and E.J. Jones, too. And, of course, a good year for y'all. You made the regionals last year.
It started off kind of bumpy because we went 1-5 to start off the season. So 1-5, lost to Tab, Warwick, Phoebus, and Midgeville. And then we ended up being Denby, and then we also lost to Hampton. So we knew at the second half of the season we had to pick it back up. So with the wins over Bethel, Woodside, Gloucester, and who else?
That's all right. You made the postseason. Y'all did well.
Yeah.
All right, your thoughts, too. We'll get your thoughts and then your thoughts, too, about middle school football. Your thoughts on that. Is it tough to play both?
I feel like it is tough to play both, and I feel like if I was in middle school right now, or if they had it back in that time, I feel like I would still play it just because how much I love the game of football, and also how football also brings people together. It's kind of like teaches you how to grow up in a faster way and how to maintain yourself as a person, and also how to become a leader. And also organize yourself.
Because it's kind of tricky too, because some of the best 8th graders are playing JV, and technically in middle school is 6th, 7th, and 8th, correct?
Yeah. So I feel like to me, middle school football is just gauging your opponents before you go to high school. Mm-hmm. That's what I take it as. That's what I take it as. So the kids that you're playing now are kids you're going to play once you get to high school and once they get to high school. So that's what I take it as. With middle school football.
Right. Of course, we look forward to the varsity season in the fall of 24. All right, let's talk about telecom. This is where we're at right now. You guys do a great job here. You've helped me in a variety of sports. You've done sports on your own. You've got shows, too, as well. What have you learned as far as the academic side here day to day?
I learned that this is a great experience, being able to get experience from when it comes to recording, editing, being able to be in front of the camera, it all helps and coordinates to what I plan to do later on in life.
Right. And what about you? You have a lot of good future goals too.
Yeah. My first goal coming here, was try to build my resume and try to gain knowledge on how to become an analyst. But now, after gaining knowledge, camera work, editing, broadcasting and stuff like that, it makes me feel like I can do more things than just being an analyst. I can also be behind the camera, record other things, widen my variety.
It's fun in the variety to do different things, to learn different things, and both of y'all are doing a great job with that. What advice would you give to a student announcer? Because we're always trying to get not just an announcer, but a production person that wants to be a junior this fall.
I'll say just voice yourself. With me and EJ, we came to Mr. Price and we said we wanted to do Yap About It Sports. We came to him about that, and he told us, he said he loved it. He said you're one of the first students to ever come up to me and ask for your own show. Mm-hmm. So I say if you plan on doing this, plan on being involved, just put yourself out there so you can gain the experience.
Exactly, because too, from football, it takes a lot of preparation. You just can't show up and announce a game or do a show. Yeah. Talk about how important preparation is.
Yeah, definitely. Especially when me and Bishop, we did our first football game. It was Minchville, Woodside. It was kind of out the blue, too. It was we had little time prepared, no stats about the team. Mm-hmm. We barely even know the jersey numbers on the team. So, we had to freestyle. I feel like we still did a good job on it, but I feel like we did a way better job the second time we did it with you and being more prepared with stats and stuff like that.
I always tell people the same thing, too. The failure to prepare is preparing to lose. It's like you guys were a good example of that in football, how you started off slow, but y'all didn't give up. Fundamentals, preparation, dedication will make you better student announcers and also football players, correct?
Yes.
How much does Coach Woodleaf talk about repetition?
He talks about it a lot. He wants guys to put their all into the team. So leadership is a big part of what he talks about. It's going to take one person to spark a light into everybody. So that's what he likes to go over. He likes to encourage and give us, the knowledge and how we can be better at what we do.
And the good thing, too, is the fact that both of y'all are in the classroom, too, day to day, and or of course, doing telecom that'll help you with your future goals in college and after college.
Yeah, I feel like I can make a resume on what I do here alone, because I did really a lot here. This is my first year doing it, because I did 4 games, entire stadium, either commentated, camera work, so that. I also edit videos outside of this classroom, school projects, STEM projects that my counselor and the STEM advisor that both came to me and wanted to edit, came to us actually, and I feel like both of that, we can carry that to college and so on as we build our resume and our career.
And we're showing that today, folks, with these kids balancing academics, athletics, and activities here at NNPS Telecom. Also, Cox Cable 47, 517, they're learning on the air, behind the scenes. And, of course, the same thing for football. A lot of times it's the quarterback and the running backs and the receivers that get a lot of the attention, but it's the people that grind. And that's true about life. Those that grind and work hard behind the scenes do better.
Yeah, like you said with the football, the quarterbacks, running backs, receivers, but it's all a team effort.
Sure.
So and then comparing it to life, it's you have to grind. You have to work for what you want. And nothing is promised to you, so you have to work for it.
Did you ever second guess whether you wanted to keep playing football? Because you said you didn't play your freshman year. Was it a lot of convincing from your mom and family to play football?
Definitely my mom. I say that because at first I was very skeptical whether I should play football or not, and then when I played my 10th grade year, it felt awful because I wasn't because I didn't feel I had enough chemistry with the people, my teammates, and I wasn't getting play time at that time. So I was really considering quitting or not quitting, but not giving full effort. But
right.
That all I threw that out the window.
And the good thing is I can tell a lot of that by just osmosis, by being around you during the broadcast, but I can tell how comfortable you are up in the booth. And I'm like, I don't want nobody to hurt poor EJ. I want EJ to be healthy for us, too. So, EJ, you're always welcome. You know that. Bishop, you can handle yourself. You're big. You're strong, whatever. But what about the competition as far as football this fall? Who are you expecting to be good? I know Phoebus is always out there.
I like our matchups against Phoebus, Warwick, Mitchville, Woodside. I like all of the matchups we play against everybody in the Peninsula District because it gives me an opportunity to show what I got and put what I got on the table against them guys. So it's always a pleasure playing everybody that's in the Peninsula District.
And I feel like the same thing he said, and also the fact that I don't feel like nobody's gonna be an easy walkthrough. Not this year. I don't think we're not gonna walk over anybody. But I feel like if we, unite as a team, start off strong, that too, I feel like we could go the same route we did last year, even better.
Yeah, because each quarter is a game within itself. But y'all see how important special teams are, handling the football, not making turnovers, that type of thing. What's your favorite sports to announce, and what's your favorite class as well in academics?
My favorite sport, football, because I know a lot about it. Mm-hmm. And then my favorite class, I'll say, is history. Mm-hmm. I take AP US history, so it's really an easy class to me.
Same thing. Football and basketball, but mainly football, because I feel like you can get a lot more creative with like the metaphors you can come up with, certain calls you can come up with announcing. And when it comes to my favorite class, I'll probably say English, mainly because my teacher, the way like they make, way he makes learning about English and certain literature and certain books makes it like fun and interesting. Kind of changed my way of thinking about literature.
And folks, this is a good example right here. We always try to recruit juniors and seniors, but especially juniors. They have a year under their belt. This time next year will be a totally different narrative and conversation with 1 year of experience behind them. So, guys, best of luck this fall here at Telecom and also at Heritage.
Thank you.
And enjoy work with you guys. And I want to thank our wonderful guests today on our June edition, Gregg Brooks, also Bishop Dunn and Edric E.J. Jones. Guys, great job today.
Thank you.
We look forward to seeing your success as you grow in the fall in the classroom as well as at Heritage High School. For our great crew behind the scenes and Ray Price, I'm Greg McPherson. Thanks for watching our June show, and we'll talk to you soon.